You ever poured your heart out to a doctor only to be rushed out of the office, to have your symptoms brushed off, minimized, made to think is all in your head? Well, you're not alone. And today I'm going to share 5 ways that you will now be able to advocate for yourself so you won't feel that way anymore. In case we haven't met yet, I'm Lauren, an intuitive healing coach, and it's really nice to meet you. If you've been here before, welcome back. So I've definitely been there before, plenty, feeling unseen and unheard at the doctor's office. Do you know there was a US study done and they found that it showed 52% of adults feel this way, this feeling of being dismissed at the doctor's. And I think it was 40% of teens say the same thing. Imagine that. Even our teenagers or children are going into the doctor and sharing how they're gaslighted. This is real, emotional, and physical harm. So I want to help you feel seen. I've been in a position not knowing what was wrong. So through scoliosis, Lyme disease, fibromyalgia, complex regional pain syndrome. I've been through this gaslighting experience. Because of that, and knowing the pain of that, I want to share with you 5 of the most important elements that I feel, if you're prepared with, will give you a much better experience at your next appointment, where you will feel heard and hopefully have your needs met by your doctor, because that is your right. So we're going to call these your 5 empowering. So here are the 5 top elements that I think will really help you. And the first one is connected to something that I'm going to suggest you do on a daily basis. It's not mandatory by any means, but it helps me tremendously. Lots of times, if a symptom comes up, I'll think that I'm going to remember when it happened, how often it happened, what was I doing, how long did it last, how did I get relief? All these things, I don't know about you, but I feel, I'll definitely remember. This is so intense. There's no way I'm going to forget. And by the next day, I probably forgot. So by the appointment with the doctor, I definitely forgot. And let's say if we have another symptom. So it's a lot to keep track of if we're not doing something like on a daily basis to maintain this record. It's record keeping, really. It's your data. So for this, I'm looking around for my phone and I can't show it to you because I'm taping on it. I'm going to share my screen though and show you that the process I go through if I have something come up and I want to remember it. And I actually will show you a way that if you put the symptom or whatever it is that you're feeling or how you slept, anything that you feel might help at your appointment to give your doctor more data, the more information you can give your doctor about how you're feeling and your symptoms and the details behind the symptoms, the better picture the doctor can form of what's going on. I know so many diagnoses are similar and a lot of symptoms overlap. Some things can't even be tested, or they show up negative when they're really positive. I know when I was being tested for Lyme disease, all the tests did not come up positive. That's one that does not always come up positive. It depends on the stage of the bacteria. It's boring details, but the important thing is when you're feeling the symptom. Now, I'm going to tell you, I never feel like doing it. Just so you get that feeling like, oh, this is such a pain in the ass. I'm not going to write this one. I'll remember. Listen, I've done that a lot. No, it's tempting because you're not feeling well. You don't want to get your phone and where you need to go on your calendar. And it's really so beneficial for you to do it. Just write it in there. And when you see how easy it is to do, that will encourage you to do it. And when you put the symptom or whatever it is that you are documenting, you can actually categorize that symptom, that entry. You can place it within a specific calendar so that when you go to the doctor, if you need to pull up only medical, you can do that. And that's also really helpful for when you're going to write down your questions.
From home screen, choose calendar. Upper right corner, choose add event +sign. Enter your health-related data and frequency. Choose the calendar dedicated to health, well-being. Entry will appear in Health Wellness Calendar.
So for number 1, which is write your top 3 pain points, really want to write down questions about what you've been experiencing and what you've been documenting. Include questions that you want to know. It doesn't matter how silly or weird you think they sound. This is your time to tell the doctor everything you're experiencing, because the smallest detail can change. Like I was saying, a lot of diagnoses can overlap. A lot of symptoms can overlap. But one little detail, because you documented it on your phone, that can really help you and come in handy during those times that there's a lot of overlap. Like fibromyalgia and Lyme disease, I've had both diagnoses, and the symptoms of them are very similar. So before you go to the doctor, the first thing is you want to write down your concerns, your questions, your symptoms, and any details you have about them. And if there's more than 3, write more than 3. Write as many as you have so that the doctor can get the fullest picture as possible, okay? You're not really going to feel like writing it or putting it in your phone, or if you are a paper and pen person, which I appreciate. I love paper and pen from my teaching days, and sometimes I'll do that. But I always really try to push myself to put the symptoms on my phone as well, even if I write them down on a calendar. The reason I like to use a calendar, whether it's written or on your phone, it just makes it easier to see if there's a pattern, or to see how far apart or how close together things are happening, because you're putting it in there by the date. So I find that really helpful, because when I'm sitting there in the doctor's appointment, a lot of times if they ask me, oh, how long has that been happening? Oh, when did that begin? When did you first notice that? And do you know what my answer is usually? I don't remember. because that's also a symptom. So it's just a really good idea to write down as much as you can. Document. Number 2. The second thing is bring a support person. There's a couple benefits to this. First of all, for some reason, it's been shown that when your doctor sees you coming in with someone, or actually usually the doctor is coming into the room where you've been waiting for
a long time, right?
But when they see you're there with someone, whoever that may be, your credibility goes up a notch and you're not feeling as much of that gaslighting, if any. I don't know what it is, but for some reason that has been shown. And if you are able to bring somebody with you, ask them to write down where you have written your questions. Ask them to write the answer that the doctor gave you. This is another time where I used to say, oh, I'll remember what he said. I'm just going to read my questions, but I didn't think to write the answer because I thought I would just remember. And I don't know why I keep telling myself I will, because I don't. So that's how I learned you need to write down what the response is. It's not good enough just to have your questions and your concerns. Include what the doctor said about it. Number 3, when you're explaining yourself to your doctor, you might want to try using I statements. I feel this sharp pain in my leg when I walk more than 5 minutes. Gives them a really clear picture of what you're feeling, what might have brought it on when it's happening. Using those statements gives them a nice clear picture of what and when. And that kind of personal phrasing, when you say, I feel this way, makes it more personal and brings attention and empathy to your concerns and your suffering. Number 4, if something is not clear, ask for clarification. Your doctor, it goes an airplane, your doctor is there to help you. That's why you're there. That's why you waited maybe months to see this doctor, right? So when the doctor is explaining to you and you don't completely understand something that he said, ask him to repeat it in another way. Ask the doctor to give you an example. Examples are great because they allow us to really picture ourselves personally in a situation. So make sure if there's something that's confusing, which probably I'd say happens at every appointment, there's something to question. And you will get the most benefit by understanding what your doctor is saying and how it applies to you and why he might be suggesting the diagnosis that he is. You need that clarification so that you completely understand what's happening with your body. And it's also showing the doctor that you are in charge of how you feel. You are in charge of your well-being and you're responsible about it. And you make sure that you understand what's going on with you. And that sends a very strong message to the doctor. And hopefully you won't feel any more of that gaslighting. So you could say things like, could you explain that again? Feel funny about saying that. I could see where I might feel funny at first, questioning the doctor, like the authority figure. However, they're there to help you heal. They're part of your team, and there needs to be good communication amongst your team that's getting you better. So you need to understand what the doctor is sharing with you and how it applies to you. Last one, number 5. Bring any records or reports, x-rays, MRIs, CAT scans, anything at all that you think might be relevant. Because the worst is thinking, I knew I should have brought that. I definitely have been there. So bring records that you feel would help explain the picture a little better for your doctor. By the way, include the documentation that you've been keeping, whether it was on your phone calendar or a written calendar. It allows the doctor to see that these are all the times that you felt that symptom and you have been documenting and staying on top of it as a patient. If any of these suggestions are resonating with you, please write the word heard in the comment section below to let me know. Thank you. So, why prepare like this for a doctor's appointment? Why not just go in with nothing written down, no questions, no preparation? Even saying that doesn't feel good after talking about all the ways to be on top of your appointment. So by going in there prepared and having taken this time you took to plan and to write out your 5 elements for this appointment and to go in there with your person, your doc sees that you are serious about your health and that you are taking charge of your well-being. It will give you a sense of confidence in that appointment with the doctor. And when you're communicating with the doctor, you will feel more on top of your situation. I found it actually helped me recall better when things were happening, or even how often, instead of just trying to go by memory, which was mine was very much affected. So that was not an option. I felt like doing that, but I made myself write symptoms down. So it helps you feel ready. It's the best way I can say it. It really helps you feel confident walking in there, knowing your situation and knowing what help you need. You might not know exactly how the help's going to look, but you know where you need help. You deserve to be truly seen. Your pain is not a character flaw. Your symptoms are not in your head. If you feel this video has helped you, feel free to share it with someone you think it might help as well. And if you feel called to do so, please go ahead and subscribe and like the video. And by the way, down below is the PDF link for the 5 elements we just talked about. So there will be room on the PDF for you to write your questions and take notes at the appointment. And I hope it helps you to make it a little bit easier and more convenient. So let's move forward, feeling better and feeling heard. I'm sending you so much love and healing light.
Got a fire in my heart that's burning bright.